Winners play to win, losers play not to lose. Welcome back to another episode of Hashtag Winning. You're Kim, her CEO and founder of Healthpreneur. And you're watching this because you're a health professional who is a winner. You do big things in life, you want to accomplish bigger things in life, and you will never give up until you make those happen. So well done and welcome back. So I'm going to share a couple thoughts with you here. You can't grow your revenue, you can't grow your business by cutting your way to the top. What I mean by that is you can't grow your revenue by cutting your expenses. So many people are playing so safe, and by safe I mean scared shitless, and therefore they're not able to move forward. They make decisions based out of fear. They don't go after what they want because they see everything in the way of what they want. And as a result, they don't even start. So as a winner, we focus on playing to win. Now, I'm not saying, I'll just use a sports analogy, but I understand sports can be a little bit different. I play tennis. I love tennis. I'm a very risk-tolerant tennis player, so I make a lot of unforced errors. I go for big shots. Now, again, I'm not like a Novak Djokovic, but I don't play a very safe defensive style of tennis. You could say, well, a lot of the best tennis players are very good defensive players. Novak Djokovic, Rafa Nadal, Andy Murray, all had very, very, very good defense. You could look at a lot of soccer teams and football teams, and you can also say, well, some of the best teams focus on defense first and foremost. You could say that, but in my experience, business, although there are some great analogies from sport, don't always parallel. You see, in business, you can't play super safe and win. There are times when you have to take calculated risks. Do you think Elon Musk is playing it safe by trying to go to space? Trying to go to Mars? No. Howard Schultz, I think, the former CEO of Starbucks, when he wanted to, so he took a trip to Japan many, many years ago, and he saw a big opportunity to bring Starbucks to Tokyo. And he came back, he talked to the board, and they're like, hold on. Howard, this is a different culture. They're not going to take Starbucks like they have here in the States. He's like, just trust me. Like, I know in my gut, this is going to be huge. And they said, okay, can we just hire some like experienced consultants, let them do their work, let them find out all the research, etc. And then we can make an informed decision, right? Sounds familiar. Let me think about it and gather more information so I can make an informed decision, right? You've heard that story before. We all know how that goes. So anyways, he's like, okay. So they do it. And they hire all these like really expensive consultants. They come back with a 300-page report about why Starbucks essentially is going to fail in Japan. Howard sees it and he's like, awesome, thank you. We're going to go open up in Tokyo. He basically said, I don't give a shit. And this is what I love about leadership, is it's a benevolent dictatorship. It's like, yeah, by all means, I love your input, but I'm still going to do what I want to do. Because in the core, like in his core, he knew what the right answer was. Because entrepreneurs, especially when you've been doing something long enough, you have that gut instinct. And I've talked about this before, that your gut instinct is your best coach. You know. And it's okay to be fearful as long as that fear doesn't hold you back. So Howard and Starbucks open up in Tokyo, and it becomes the biggest opening in Starbucks history. I think to this day, the Japanese market is still the biggest market for Starbucks relative to like the number of stores and per store and stuff like that. If he had taken the advice of these overpaid, inexperienced consultants who said, hold on, let's play it safe, hold your horses, just imagine everything they would have missed out on. Just imagine the entire country of Japan would have missed out on the beautiful nitro cold brew, okay? Now, I'm not saying Starbucks is the best coffee in the world. There's obviously better coffee. But where in life have you allowed people closest to you to hold you back from what you know is true? I'll show you how this is going to show up in your life. You're going to talk to someone who's interested in working with you, right? They're dealing with a health issue, their own body, their own health issue. And they're going to say, this sounds great. I'm just going to run it by my husband or wife. And as soon as they say that, you and they are fucked. When I lost my hair to an autoimmune condition at 17. Now, if this happened later in life and I were to talk with an expert, maybe like you, who, I don't know, works with autoimmunity and alopecia as an example, and you're like, cool, so it's going to be $4,000 for us to work together to reverse the hair loss. And I'm like, that sounds great. Let me go talk with my wife. Why on earth would I go ask my wife permission or what she thinks about what I should do with my own body for my own condition? Do you see the fallacy in that thinking? Okay, this is what's going to happen to you. It's going to happen guaranteed. You're going to talk to people who say stuff like this. Now, there's two scenarios. I don't actually think your solution is going to work for me and I'm using this as a scapegoat, or I don't make any money and I have to talk to my spouse. I get that, okay? But why I'm sharing this with you is because you got to be bold. You have to listen to your gut. You know the answer. You know the answer. You don't need to go talk to anyone. You don't need to consult your advisors and all these different fucking people. They're not in your shoes, and unless they've been where you want to be, do not ask them for advice. Okay? If you want parenting advice, talk to a parent who's done what you want to do. Okay? I don't ask my parents for financial or business advice ever. Do you know why? Because never in their life have they achieved what I'm already living. So why on earth would I ask them for advice about anything related to this stuff? I wouldn't. If I look at someone who has the results I want, whether it's parenting, their health, their body, their finances, I will ask them their advice because I'm going to get a very, very different opinion, a very different piece of feedback. Because the people who don't see your dream, unfortunately, you might be a winner. You might be living with losers. I'm sorry to say that, but you might, honestly, the people closest to you can be the biggest reason you're not where you want to be. Honey, I want to do this thing. Well, let's just watch Netflix tonight. You're working all the time. It's just something to think about. Okay, the people closest to you could be holding you back from the things you want to achieve. And I honestly, I hope that that's not the case. But I've seen it so many times. And in the context of our business, right? Practitioners in a terrible situation. They're not making the money they want. They're suffering. They're working 1 million hours a week. And they're like, this sounds amazing. They go talk with their wife and she's like, shh, you're not doing it. Stay back in your cage. Man, grow a set, grow a pair. You know what I'm saying? And I see this happen all the time. It's like, whether it's the husband or the wife or whoever, it's just, no, it's not safe. It's risky. Let's not do that. Let's save up for a rainy day, because if you keep saving up, maybe eventually when you're dead, you'll have enough money to do the thing you want to do. That's loser talk, okay? That's how losers live their life. It's maybe I've got 20 more years to work this job I hate, and I'm going to have enough money to save up for retirement when I'm 75, and then I'm fucking dead. That's how losers live their life. Winners go after what they want, and they bulldoze their way to the finish line. They don't give a shit about what comes up. They figure out a way to make it happen. That's you. Because if it wasn't you, you wouldn't be watching this. So give yourself a pat on the back. Okay, we need more winners in this world. We need more people who are bold and decisive and taking leadership over the small and big. Hey, we'll get back to the video in just a moment, but if you're enjoying this content, this is just the tip of the iceberg. And I've got videos coming your way every single week until I die. And I don't plan on dying anytime soon. And what that means for you is that you'll be getting my best insights to help you grow your health business online faster, without the grind and without all the guesswork. But the reality is this: I'm not asking for a lot, just a simple little commitment, which is for you to subscribe to the channel right now. And that way you can get notified every single time we're dropping a new video to help you grow faster. So all you have to do right now is hit that subscribe button below. It will help me sleep a lot better at night. But more importantly for you, it'll help you build your dream a lot faster. So go ahead, subscribe, and we'll get back to the show. Every single day, how you show up for yourself, your family, for your business is a decision, right? You can allow life to happen to you like a lot of people do and live life with regret. Or you can take life by the balls and go after what you want. And that means you're going to be taking risks. You're going to be doing things that other people around you do not understand. And that's okay. They're not supposed to understand it. If this world was full of risk-taking entrepreneurs, then none of these businesses would work, because no one would be working for us. And it's not to say that people working in your business are losers or they're not willing to take risk, but you have to be the one who leads the way. So you can't play not to lose. You have to play on the offense all the time. Revenue solves all problems. Specifically, profit helps, right? Profits, like if you make $1 million, you spend $1 million, whatever. But you have to make more revenue because the more money you make, the more problems you can solve. If you're dealing with an issue and you don't know how to solve it, or you're doing all the work in your business, if you make more money, you can hire someone better than you to do the thing. So please understand that you're not going to skim your way to success. Like you're going to keep cutting your expenses until what point? You make $10,000 a month and you like, I'm going to get rid of Kajabi. I'm going to get rid of Active Campaign. I've just saved $200 a month. I'm fucking loaded. No, you're not. You're broke in the mind. In the mind. You're thinking from lack, scarcity. It's never going to happen. So what winners do is they understand that there are expenses in the business and they're like, cool, I'm just going to go make more money. I'm going to go add more value. I'm going to go transform more lives, and I'm going to be compensated as an exchange for that. I'm playing to win, not playing not to lose. If you're running Facebook ads, there's only so far you can cut your costs. You're not going to like lower your cost per lead to zero. You're like ad costs are only going up. You understand that, right? Like real estate, it's only going one way, up. So what does that mean? You're going to spend all of your time focusing on how you get your cost per lead, cost per call book, cost per client down. You can do that and you should, but it's a hell of a lot of work for a very marginal decrease. Or you could just double your prices and this becomes irrelevant, right? That's an example of playing to win as opposed to playing not to lose. So at the end of the day, winners play to win. They're making decisions based on conviction, based on belief in themselves. And losers, they focus on the things that are going to stand in their way. They say things like, well, what if this doesn't work? Cool. All right. Winners, they're like, well, what if this does work? What if I don't do this? What's the upside when this works out? I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm going to make it happen. That's how winners think. When I invested in my first coach in 2010, 2 credit cards, I didn't have the money. Here you go. Scared shitless. There's more money than I made the previous year in business. And I remember the duality in my body at the time. My stomach was turning, like the butterflies, like, oh my God, right? And at the same time, now I had created a vacuum. I had crossed the bridge. I had burned the boats. And there was no turning back. I'm not the type of guy who's gonna be like, oh my God, I need my money back. Actually, I'm getting cold feet. I'm gonna pull out. Fuck that. That's how losers talk. You're in, period. There's no getting out. There's no getting out. You find a way to get out. So I remember in that moment, I'm feeling that. And at the same time, I was more committed than ever before. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking crush this. I'm gonna make this happen no matter what. And so I took that initial investment and I turned that into $250,000 in that year. And that's because the transformation happens at the transaction. You are not committing to anything until you put skin in the game. I don't care what anyone says. Because yes, it is fearful, but you can stand on the sideline all you want. But unless you take action, unless you put skin in the game, it's all just talk. This property has now been said to me by different people in the area that this is the best house in this entire part of Mexico. We bought this house, we bought this land, sight unseen on a piece of paper. We looked at the lots, we looked at the topography, we looked at, the lots, and we said, we're buying that. We didn't even know what the house was gonna look like. We didn't even know how all the details were gonna work out, but we said, this is what we're gonna do. We know we wanna be here, and we know that this is our lot. And from there, we just made it happen. You commit first and you figure out the rest later. What so many people are doing is they're trying to collect all the details. I gotta get all the certainty before I can commit. And then you're fucked, you're out of luck, because guess what happened? We jumped on this first, which means that nobody else in this entire part of Mexico can get this lot. We're the only lot in this entire area that gets sunrise and sunset. We have whales and dolphins 100 feet off the cliff here. Now, I could have waited forever till I had all the details and all the certainty and all my I's dotted and T's crossed. And I would have missed out on this. Because in life, the universe loves speed. And perfectionists and procrastinators end up living with regret, remorse, and doubts. I would much rather have the pain of discipline, the pain of how am I going to figure this out, as opposed to the pain of, oh shit, I missed out. I missed the thing that I knew I should have done. That pain of regret is the worst fucking feeling ever. And I hope you don't experience it. I'm sure you have at some point. But all I'm saying is right now, if there's something you want to go after and you're afraid of doing it, but you know it's the right thing for you to do, you have to blow the shit up of all the boats behind you, burn the bridges, and do it. I know again, I don't have any context of your situation, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. I don't know what your situation is, and this is not financial advice, but I'm sharing this from an entrepreneur who's achieved a lot of big things in life and made a hell of a lot of mistakes along the way. And because of that, that's where I am right now. Because the alternative is I could have never started because I would have avoided all those mistakes. I could have played it safe. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to fall off the bike. I don't want to fail. No, that's how losers think. That's how losers live their life. But you're not a loser. You're a fucking winner. That's why you're watching this video. And winners are bold. They're decisive. They listen to their guts, right? The Howards of Starbucks, the biggest leaders in this world, they know what they want and they go after it and they make it happen. They don't need a board of advisors to give them all the pros and cons. They listen to their gut, they feel the fear, and they fucking plow through it with courage. That is all you need. You need clarity, you need courage, and you need conviction and commitments. That's all you got to do. Clarity, make a commitment, have courage, go. Conviction that you'll figure it out. That's it, the 4 C's. Just go. Just go. Don't play life not to lose. It sucks. It sucks. Play to win. Be bold, take risks, and go after what you want. When winners fail, they learn. When losers fail, they quit. Today, I'm going to share 3 quick lessons with you about the difference between winners and losers in this world. Now, I use the word loser not as a personal attack, but just people who lose in kind of the direction of their dreams.